Nearly 50 years ago, astronaut Jack Swigert was aboard this Apollo spacecraft on the way to the moon when he had a sudden realization. He'd forgotten to file his taxes. Houston, we have a problem. I'm Kevin. I'm from Untied. We're based in London, and we put people in control of their taxes. In many countries, it's not like Israel, where I know that taxes are fun and easy. But in the UK, we spend 100 million hours a year working out our tax bills. It's our largest category of household spend, 268 billion. And another 3 billion goes on accountants to sort it out. There is another way. Untied is a groundbreaking app that makes doing your taxes quicker, simpler, cheaper, and better. It works by connecting to your accounts, your bank accounts, your card accounts, even your government tax account. And as you earn, spend, and invest, it makes tax sense of your transactions, claiming deductions, and even logs your journeys automatically, making it easy to claim business mileage. You're always in control, whether you're an entrepreneur or a higher earner, saving money by being an expert in you, not an expert in taxes. And then when you're ready, you can file straight from the Untied app directly to the tax authority. Just like Simone, a freelance yoga instructor who in January made history by using the Untied app to submit the UK's first ever fully mobile tax return. There are 12 million people in the UK just like Simone, and why we can help them by offering Untied directly, we can do more by working with partners like banks that are looking for more services on the back of open banking. And Untied does this with its deep technology that works with partners all the way through the process. We've got traction, we've got integration with 94% of UK bank accounts. We're partnered with the UK's deepest tax database and regulated by the Tax Authority, by the Institute of Tax, and by the Financial Conduct Authority, the UK equivalent of the SEC. Our technology can work around the world, and this is one of the reasons why Deloitte has chosen Untied to power their services. But it's not just Deloitte who believe that there's nothing to match Untied. We have relationships with Accenture at high level across the banking industry and with accounting firms, where one firm alone estimates they can save £4 million a year by using Untied. We deliver a powerful B2B2C business model with a subscription revenue which is ongoing and tiered, which we generate both from the partner and from the end user. And the partner and end user both benefit from insights as they go, helping them manage their investments as well wisely. Now, let's quickly meet the team. We're accountants and specialists in automation and subscription software. We've sold and launched businesses together before. We don't do it alone. We've got a strong advisory group headed by Paul Morton, who until recently was the UK government's most senior official responsible for tax simplification. And we're growing this team to do more. But at the end of the day, we believe that people should be following their dreams, not filing their receipts. Are you on board? Lift off. Putting people in control of their taxes, that's Untied.
I want to know if that was you or if that was the astronaut who forgot to file his taxes. But that's not an official question. Judges, I've got the microphone here. Questions for Kevin and Untied.
Hi, Kevin. So, personally, I'm from the US. I'm very familiar with what the e-filing landscape looks like over there. Could you tell us a little bit more what it looks like today in the UK, what competition is?
Yeah, certainly. So in the US, TurboTax has got 70% of the online tax filing market. 150 million have to do a tax filing in the US. The UK doesn't have this tradition of intermediary software, and we're really early in this progression. We've got an estimate that over the course of the next 10 years, 80% plus people will be using this. And when we validate that with experts, they actually say that it's likely to be more than 80% and it's going to be sooner. So there's a big shift that's going to be happening. And even looking at the US market, what we're doing is we're trying to get deeper into the insights and the automation than you currently have with some of the existing solutions that are out there.
So again, going back to the US market equivalent, so TurboTax is mostly personal tax. In the US, when you go to anything that smells like business, S Corp, C Corp, things start to get really, really ugly. Are you planning to address that market or really, sort of like personal tax returns? And also, you didn't say anything about technology, but just saying technology. So can you elaborate a little bit more about what your technology does?
Yeah. Certainly. So I'll address the first bit very quickly, which is in the UK, we see the opportunity very much being about retail personal taxes, which include self-employed individuals. There's 6 million of those, as well as higher earners. The UK market is well served for automation for your corporation tax submissions. But what we're doing in terms of technology is really quite different. That there's a lot of technology out there which will look at the analysis of a transaction based on the retailer and on the merchant. What that doesn't do is it doesn't look at that individual's personal circumstances. So if you and I both go to IKEA, I could be a builder, you could be doing up an apartment that you're renting out on Airbnb, and Josh could be doing up his own room. So what we do is we actually look at the individual level circumstances in order to identify whether something's likely to be a business transaction or not. And we've got an AI specialist that's working with us on that. Richard, who's our chair, he's got a master's in data science, and we've done a lot of automation in the past. This is early stages, but that's really where we see that this is going.
Any more questions? Yep.
Josh from our crowd. I understand going after, you're talking about all these brokers and people going through tax accountants and all that stuff, which is, I think there's two sides of the market. One of the people who are currently using, face-to-face versus people who are using, software or something like that. I don't know if you agree or disagree. But just, first of all, if you agree with that, and second of all, if you do, then how do you see losing that, having a personalized touch that you would have in front of a broker on an online app where people who are very nervous about their taxes, they want to make sure they're not getting messed over, they want to make sure that they're not missing a loophole, or there is a loophole they could be jumping into. So you're obviously tax experts and accounting experts. How do you translate that into a mobile app?
So we've spoken to a lot of accountants about the sort of services that they offer to their clients, and it is very much about reassurance. But we believe that what we're able to do is actually build in a lot of the different ways to optimize your tax position. But if somebody does want a professional advisor and there's a specific transaction, maybe they want to refer for help, then they can do that. But it also helps an accountant by identifying those transactions which look a little bit odd. And at the moment, professional advisors often get boxes of receipts, and they're asked just to sort them out. And from their point of view, there's a risk as well, because they're making decisions on the part of the user. I mean, one other thing, we're early in our journey. We've been going 14 months. So what we're seeing here is the progression that we've made over the course of the last year and a bit, and where this is going is really quite exciting going forward. I wish there were more time.
Well, I'm sure you'll have more time to speak to the judges later. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for Kevin Sefton, CEO of Untied. Thank you, Kevin.